What is going on, party people? Captain Zeus here, followed by my homies Lucky and DP from our sister channel, The Spooky Lounge, and we are back with another Nerds and Squares Schmall Talk podcast episode here. And today we're going to be going over something everyone's probably really excited about, especially if you've seen certain trailers. It's going to be about the DC Universe, specifically about Clayface and Lanterns. And my, oh my, do we got some stuff to talk about. So please let us know your thoughts about those trailers and the upcoming projects in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, show support to the channel. We're trying to bring back these videos for you guys because, you know, us nerds we just keep all this contained, you know, until we have this moment here where we just like let it out, you know, like a Kamehameha or something. See, nerd reference. Anyway, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna start off with Clayface because honestly, I'm just very antsy to talk about it after seeing that trailer that freaked me out. I just got to know what everybody's thoughts are. How scary is Clayface gonna be? We have Mike Flanagan writing this thing, and it's a rated-R body horror movie. I think the first rated-R DC project since the Snyder Cut, which is freaking crazy. We're gonna start off with Lucky here. Please, as a horror fanato, connoisseur, what are your thoughts? How'd you feel about the trailer?
I suggest everyone who's excited for Clayface to go back and watch projects such as The Haunting of Bly Manor, The Haunting of Hill House. That's Mike Flanagan, some of his best work. I will say Clayface is going to be a tremendous success for the DC. Obviously, with Supergirl coming out earlier this year, a lot of questions have been swirling around about the DCU and the future of the DCU. And let me just say, dude, like Clayface is going to put it to bed. DC is doing something that Marvel doesn't have the balls to, and that's go rated R horror. And that's going to pay dividends for the DCU. And they didn't just go horror. They went Mike Flanagan. And Mike Flanagan is a kill shot to the MCU when it comes to horror because he is a genius when it comes to this kind of stuff. When we talk about body horror, if you've ever seen Together, there's so many good projects that I have off the top of my dome. The Substance is another good body horror film. If you can stomach that, my fellow nerds, go back and watch some of those because that is a glimpse of what you're going to be seeing in Clayface, right? Obviously, it's different. When we talk about Clayface, we're talking about a little bit of a shapeshifter. You know, he can kind of morph into anything, but this is also young Clayface from the trailer. We're going to see him just acquire his powers, and it's a smaller budget when it comes to, you know, DC Marvel projects, and I like that because a lot of people have questions of like, why are we getting Clayface before Batman and blah, 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 blah. This is a great introduction into the DC Gotham City. We're going to get to see Clayface kind of in all his glory be the new face of Gotham, which is what the trailer says. And that is a great introduction into Batman and into that rogues gallery and into that side of things. And see, this is another thing that when we talk about the differential between Marvel and DC is they're not going to kill off characters too soon. They're introducing you to this guy right now to let you know he's going to be Batman's problem for the foreseeable future. And another thing that Mike Flanagan's going to do, and I hope people really hear me on this because I've heard a lot of talk on Twitter, heard a lot of talk on TikTok, a lot of guys yapping from the Snyderverse and all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. I don't think you guys really know who Mike Flanagan is. I'm talking about Big Mike. This isn't going to be a coming of age story for Clayface. This is going to be a monstrosity. He's going to be a full villain in this. This is going to be a problem. And I'm telling you, when it happens, when it drops this year, and I know you sneaky buggers are going to go see it. I know you are. Even the ones that say you're not, you're going to go see it because you're intrigued by it, because it gives you something that Marvel doesn't have the balls to, right? It gives you a real horror feeling in comic. It gives you that gut-wrenching feeling because it's nasty and it's gritty and it's something different. This isn't a $200 million project with a bunch of CGI fights. This is going to be as practical as they can make it. This is going to be in the slums of Gotham. This is going to be a failed actor turned menace to society. This is going to be one of the best films of 2026, and I put my stamp on that when we talk about any of it. When you talk about the type of grit that it takes to make this film, I hope you guys understand the lead actor of this film that played Clayface was filming this with a torn ACL, and he did all his own stunts and stuff like that for the film. So when you watch him in this film and he has a limp, it's because that actor is getting to it. He's getting busy. He's not for the cameras and shit. He's not for the glitz and the glam having none of that. He knows what this project is. Mike Flanagan brought him on to tell you what this project is. And it's rated R. It's going to be hell in your face, dude. And I'm telling you, people want to talk this, that, and the third about DC. It's going to set it up perfectly. And you guys are going to be a big fan of Clayface come October. I promise you that. Go ahead, DP. Say something that I didn't say.
Dang,
you know
dude. I mean, hold on. Before we, DP, I'll let you process that because he made a lot of really good points there. A lot of very good points. Is this something you're even looking forward to seeing? I know you guys over at the Spooky Lounge, definitely check out the channel if you haven't, do a lot of horror movie reviews. Is this something that you think is going to be on par to some of the things that you've seen? What's your thoughts?
So personally, I love Mike Flanagan. I love everything he's done so far that I've seen. Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, Doctor Sleep, The Midnight Club, Oculus, which I just found out recently about that one. There's going to be a little bit of a hot take on this part right here. I love Mike Flanagan. I think it's going to be a good movie, but I don't think it's going to be scary like his other stuff.
Oh, buddy.
I think it's going to be disgusting. I think it's going to be very gritty. I think it's going to be very, very grotesque in every way possible, especially with the fact that it is body horror. I could be wrong, but I think it's not going to be as scary as of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, because those are tailored specifically to horror, whereas we know Clayface to be the scary villain, but also we've seen Clayface in other types of styles for his character, where even Clayface in Harley Quinn, Clayface in literally Creature Commandos, that is
I was just thinking of that.
The thing that kind of stinks that I wish was the case, and I'm gonna be not exactly like a Snyder fan or whatever. I really wish that Robert Pattinson's Batman was the DCU Batman. I know that some people are conflicted about it. We got an announcement for Batman Brave and the Bold and nothing else. We don't know who Batman is. We don't even know who Robin is. We don't know anything about the movie. At this point, just make Robert Pattinson the Batman for this universe, because people want it. Want him with David Cornsweet's Superman. We want to see a gritty, realistic Batman in a cartoonish Superman world, or just in the world of DC in general. So I think with the horror elements that we got perfectly from the Batman, which I remember when Lucky and I watched the Batman back in 2022, at one scene where Jim Gordon and Batman go into the asylum and they see the crackheads, that one scene, because it was so unexpected, me and Lucky got scared during that part because we didn't expect it.
That was not Arkham Asylum. That was just an abandoned orphanage.
The abandoned orphanage.
Yeah.
But that one scene alone, I looked at Lucky and I said, this literally, if they wanted to make this a horror movie, they literally could make this easily into a really great Batman horror film, where Batman is the person having to go through it, and we see the horrors of future reference Arkham Asylum, of the villains of Gotham City. It would cook so well. I think Clayface is going to be good, but I trust Mike Flanagan to make it scary, but I don't think it's going to be as scary as his other projects.
I have a question, DP. I have a quick question. I've seen edits of Annabelle the doll with her tits out in a bikini. Does that make Annabelle the film any less scary? I've seen edits of Valak working. Does that make The Nun less scary?
Lucky, what the frick is on your feed, dude?
No. I'm wondering if some of the cheesiness makes other horror projects less scary. Because here's my thing. We can bring up Clayface and the Creature Commandos, but what you're not bringing up, DP, I know it's for a specific reason. That is Clayface already established as Clayface. What we're seeing in this film is the birth of Clayface. So when you say it's not going to be scary, I don't really know where that's coming from, because we're watching a man devolve into madness after losing his career, and it looks like he's going to lose the love of his life. So when we talk about horror and we talk about scariness, it's not just going to be the body horror. It's going to be watching a guy go from up here and tumbling all the way down, and just how mean and spit up and chewed and spit up Gotham City can be to a man. That's what we're going to witness in October. And that's where I think a lot of people get it twisted, is Clayface established is a different Clayface who is just born. And that is something where we have to differentiate, because I think it's going to be a lot scarier than people give it credit for because of that.
I still have to finish through and through Creature Commandos, but
To my knowledge, from what I've seen, isn't Clayface in Creature Commandos a little
Yes.
bit of comedic relief in the show? So then, like,
Yes, but he's
not really.
he's established already as Clayface though too. Like it's something where in Creature Commandos you're also following a bunch of villains. It's also a different setting for him. Like we're gonna be seeing this from the viewpoint of the actor failing and devolving into this monster.
I guess
and
it could be the same with.
that horror is going to be really there with Mike Flanagan. It's like this is a different type of story than what we see him in terms of we're getting more of an Arkham Clayface rather than a Creature Commandos or Harley Quinn type Clayface.
Kind of the same with like Clayface, with like Batman in general, like where Batman's a bit of a sillier character in Harley Quinn to all of his other like
Correct.
medias and all that.
Correct.
So that makes sense.
Clayface can be a scary ass mother. He can be. And I think that's what they're leaning into. I don't think Mike Flanagan's playing that whole, let's make him the butt of the joke. I think he's going to be the type of character where if you make him the butt of the joke, he slams your head into a fucking wall. Like that's going to be the type of Clayface that we're seeing in October.
Moving real quick to Green Lantern.
No, I guess I don't have anything to say. No, that's cool. I mean, I'm also
Listen. I want to throw something out for you, Zeus.
Okay, go ahead.
It's something that I've been curious about. Your thoughts on Green Lantern. When I saw the first trailer, wasn't interested. Second trailer, maybe. I don't know.
Sin City wasn't made for y'all.
About to freaking Blair Witch you right now, dog. All right, hold on a second. So let me just say this about Clayface first. I think that trailer looks freaking gnarly. I totally get what DP is saying and the fact that it's going to be nasty. It's going to be brutal, but is it going to be scary? Question mark. I don't know. I'm not one to be into the horror area. I'm slowly getting into it. You know, I've seen some slashers like Saw, Texas Chainsaw Massacres, Scream. You know, I'm slowly getting into there, you know, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if you could successfully do a super scary Clayface. I'd love to see that happen though. I'm not trying to say they won't. I think it looks good. I think the visuals, the acting, everything from what we've seen in the trailer, especially the practical effects with the clay, is going to be crazy. With that being said though, flipping over to essentially the complete opposite side of the DC spectrum here in a way, we have, like DP mentioned, Lanterns. And for those that haven't noticed, this year has been nothing but DCU projects that have not been written or directed by James Gunn. So we're getting a whole lot of different vibes here. Supergirl, Lanterns, Clayface, those three completely different vibes, completely different ratings, and kind of completely different settings. Lanterns, I've been excited for since they announced it when James Gunn first signed on. I was like, True Detectives with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, I'm in. I'm freaking in. True Detectives is one of my favorite shows until he ruined it with season 4. And if you're doing anything like season 1 or 3 of True Detectives with a Lantern series on HBO Max, dog, I mean, Gordon Ramsay's in the kitchen cooking. This is going to be freaking fantastic.
And if I talk about a camera one more time, I'll stick a GoPro up your ass so you can see how shit you are. Got it?
I do see some of the concerns with the first trailer that originally dropped where it's like, oh, it's too down to earth, it's too gritty, it's not enough cosmic. Meanwhile, the entire advertisement was it's True Detectives but Lanterns, so it's kind of exactly what that was supposed to be. And then we get it with the second trailer. You get all the cosmic stuff, you know? We see Oa, we see Sinestro, we see more Lantern blasts. I loved the first trailer. I thought it set the tone perfectly. Second trailer still keeps that same tone, but just gives it what the other fans wanted as well, especially since we know who the villains are, and that's the Manhunters. Not talking about the ones from Mars. I was gonna say Martians. They're Martians. But
Come on, man, they're not all the same. Come
yeah, I know
now.
they're not the same
We're
thing.
saving that boy for Superman Man of Tomorrow.
Yo, probably. I mean, we're getting Brainiac in there too, so
We're saving Big Martian for Man of Tomorrow.
I think Lanterns is going to be absolutely fantastic. I think people are going to be coming in with very low expectations and are going to be pleasantly surprised. Aaron Pierre as Jon Stewart, perfect casting. I cannot literally visualize anyone else as Jon Stewart. Kyle Chandler, as an older Hal Jordan, also perfect. I don't know if there's any other actor that could play such a douchey older Hal than him. Heck, I'd even be interested to see him as like a Parallax Hal at some point. That would be very interesting. But the fact that we already have Sinestro existing, he's already been arrested, brings to question, is the Sinestro Corps a thing? We'll find that out. Who was murdered in the show that started this whole investigation? My theory is Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, but the whole thing is bringing a lot of questions, and we've only had the little snippets, the little trailers that we've had that don't spoil too much, and I think that's perfect for a show surrounded by mystery and intrigue, especially in the cosmos. So for me, I'm freaking excited. I mean, DP is freaking drinking haterade straight from the fountains of Haterus, but Lucky, what do you think?
No, dude, I mean, Lanterns looks incredible. To your point, Zeus, when we talk about Green Lanterns, I think a big issue that has sprung up in the past with the Green Lantern's corps in general has always kind of been there's too many cooks in the kitchen. And I think the beauty that they're doing with this Lantern show is it is a coming of age story for John Stewart. Hal Jordan is essentially tasked with teaching him what it means to be a great Green Lantern and kind of passing that knowledge down to John Stewart. So already right there, that's intriguing to me because we get to see John Stewart go from zero to hero essentially. And Aaron Pierre is the perfect guy for that role. I mean, we talk about what I would envision a live action John Stewart to look like. It looks like that. One of the qualms that I thought I might have with this is it would feel maybe a little bit too Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't get that vibe from the trailer. I don't get that vibe. It looks like a lot of it's going to take place on Earth, and that's cool. And I think that's a part of a lot of people get lost on this too because they're not real comic book fans. They think they are. They believe that their opinion matters more than everybody else's because they're just louder.
Tell them.
That doesn't equate to knowledge. The Green Lantern's Corps, and when we talk about the Green Lantern's Corps, they are essentially space cops. They are essentially investigators. So when we talk about why are we investigating a murder and blah, 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 because that's their job, doofus. That's their job. They're investigating the galaxy basically for laws being broken. Green Lanterns has always been kind of that stronghold in the galaxy, the same way in Marvel it's the Nova Corps. You know, that is kind of how the Green Lanterns operate. Secondly, Sinestro looks perfect. Sinestro looks fantastic in this trailer. No notes on Sinestro. My bet is that we're going to, in this series at some point, see either the beginning or the creation of the Sinestro Corps. And that's going to be pretty sick. And what I love about this that DC failed at with Ryan Reynolds so many years ago is we are establishing the Green Lantern Corps in the DCU. We don't need a young Hal Jordan and a young John Stewart. We don't need that. That's too many cooks in that kitchen for me, especially when we get into Justice League and we get into that. You got too many Green Lanterns running around that team. Too many guys that do the same thing on that team. This is a perfect kind of rite of passage for John Stewart in this show before we get to see him fully emerge as the Green Lantern of the Justice League. And that's kind of my hope here is that's what they're going to be setting up. A lot of those questions that people had, to your point, Zeus, the second trailer, they got the answer to. There is going to be some cosmic stuff in this show. This is where we got to get back to as a fan base of being patient, of understanding that first trailer, they weren't trying to give too much away of the cosmic stuff. That is supposed to be something that we see on screen and that captivates us like, oh, that's what it's going to look like. That's sick. They're not trying to give you your dessert and full meal all at once. They want to give you a little appetizer. They want to tell you, hey, this is kind of the story we're going to be following and stuff like that. And then in the second trailer, they're going to give you a little bit more. You know what I mean? You're going to see a little bit of that cosmic stuff. But we gotta learn to be more patient as a fan base, because if not, we're always going to forever look at trailers as boom or bust. We're forever going to see these things as, if you're not giving me the full season of Lanterns in this trailer, then I'm not watching it. That's stupid. You're stupid. Let's not throw away this show before we even see it air. It's got a cool storyline. They're investigating a murder. We're seeing a coming of age story about John Stewart. We haven't seen John Stewart since the little glimpse in the Snyderverse, but real John Stewart we haven't seen in until the animated series of the Justice League Unlimited. We haven't seen John Stewart in quite some time. So let's get excited excited that we get to see Jon Stewart again. Let's get excited that we get to see Hal Jordan. Let's get excited that they're doing right by the Green Lanterns Corps and is going to fit better than any film could, because Green Lanterns is too big and too robust to tell in a movie format. That's what we saw Ryan Reynolds fail with. You have like 30 different Green Lanterns in that film. Let's get this buddy cop show going a little bit. Let's see the rite of passage from Jon Stewart. Let's see Hal Jordan in his older age and his disgruntledness and how he manages to kind of accept that he has to pass that torch. And let's have a great series, boys. We're in for a treat.
Also, let's normalize not showing too much in trailers, not showing too many,
Absolutely.
Many that's my problem that honestly I had with Brand New Day. Showed all the fight scenes, kind of ruined that a little bit. The way that
I don't want to see Jon Stewart beat the man-eaters, bro.
I will say that,
like in the trailer.
I will say that the way that Lanterns was shown, as much as like the second trailer got my interest a little more, it didn't show too much. Marvel, DC, let's keep going this route of tease your stuff. Don't show too much. Don't give away the story so much, because you ruin the good moments that you want to impress us with. Just
same with Clayface. You only got to see the shadow of the monster.
Show us what you want us to like understand about your movie, but don't give us so much that we can literally just know exactly what you're going to do with it. Keep it normal.
I don't want to watch a scene where I'm like, I know exactly how this is going to plan out because I saw the whole 45-second clip in the trailer. I don't like that. Let's normalize that. Give me a little piece and let's move.
Super solid points you guys make. I also absolutely hate the idea of teaser trailers. It pisses me off. Just give me the trailer, maybe another one after that, but I don't need I don't need a trailer for a trailer. The concept of that is stupid, okay? I don't know when that popularized, but it needs to stop. We will definitely be back with more Nerds and Square small talk and full-on podcast, because as you can tell, we have so much to talk about. It's been a minute, life's been busy, but we are back. We're back, guys, and it's gonna get awesome. Hot takes from Lucky, hot takes from Zeus, dare I say hot takes from DP. You're gonna get it all. So don't forget to like, subscribe, let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. I'm Captain Zeus, that's Lucky, that's DP, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Deuce.